start with basics first. Is there any change to first power, final power or budgets of Snowy 2.0 or Curry?
No.
Thank you. So that's very simple. Now, you just mentioned there Florence has gone 241 metres, going well. My understanding is still got about 14 kilometres or 15 kilometres to go. Is that right?
Yep, in the order of 15 kilometres.
Yep. So you mentioned the ground has got better and it's operating in good ground, but there's other ground ahead. How much on the same seismic model or similar model of that 15 kilometres do we have to bore with Florence?
We will. I mean, the headrace tunnel is 16 kilometres long in total. Yeah. We know towards the end of the headrace tunnel, or closest to the power station, there's in the order of 500 to 900 metres of a fault zone.
Similar profile to the bit, yeah.
Yeah, so we know that that will prove challenging. So one of the great things about the reset is that we're years ahead of that risk eventuating, and we're starting to think about how we may de-risk that. But Florence, to extend on your question, really does need to move at 15 metres a day on average over the next 2 to 3 years. And, we have seen some days of that order, but they do take a little bit of time to get going. She only restarted at the end of December, and the first 70 metres was still in that very wet, soft ground.
Stating the bleeding obvious, tunnel boring is very important for water flow. I don't think hydro operates without water too well. Is there thoughts of purchasing another boring machine or leasing another boring machine to facilitate alongside Florence?
One of the options on the headrace tunnel is to procure another tunnel boring machine. There are other techniques that we could employ, but over the next 1 to 2 months we'll continue the analysis on that and make a decision.
If it is to buy or lease another machine, will that fit in the funding envelope you've got and been given at this point?
I mean, when we reset the project with the $12 billion target, we allowed a number of contingencies, so I expect whatever path we take to de-risk the headrace tunnel would fit within that funding envelope.
Okay. Following tunnelling, how long do we expect to finish off the main tunnel? The headrace tunnel, yeah.
The headrace tunnel is 3 years from now, roughly.
From now, so
yeah.
Only a year after completion of tunnel boring, or?
Well, we've got 3 tunnel boring machines in operation.
Yep.
Eileen in the tail race tunnel, who is going quite well, tunnelled,
Come on, Eileen.
1.5 kilometres. Yes, she's coming on. TBM Kirsten will tunnel the pressure shaft, which goes from the power station to the headrace tunnel, and Florence and maybe other techniques will complete the headrace tunnel. So about 3 years from now, all complete, and then we start the commissioning.
Okay. Moving around a little bit, question I noticed last time about the aerosol used at Kurri Kurri had a few lost time injuries on and a few reports to medical. You're going to get a new Australian standard safety data sheet done for that, I think was in question. Has that been done?
So yes, the cleaner was called DEFRIC, which didn't have it had an international safety data sheet. It then got an Australian safety data sheet, but we're actually using a different material anyway.
Not using it anymore.
Not using it anymore.
Any incidents with the new one?
No, I mean, there were no incidents with the prior one, other than the fact it wasn't approved by Australian ChemWatch.
Okay. With going forward on all of these things, everything going well, I noticed there's been an increase of 10% from, I think, 2,000 megawatts, 2 gigawatts to 2.2 gigawatts on the Snowy scheme. How has that come about?
I mean, the equipment manufacturer, which is Voith Hydro out of Germany, would always have a degree of contingency in its guarantees to us. And as part of the reset, we were able to work with Voith to get those guarantees extended by the 10%. It's common for power stations to have a bit of overload capacity, and we've just locked that in guarantees with Voith Hydro.
So, always there, now locked in?
Sorry?
Always there, now locked in?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
My favourite question and your least favourite questions. Kurri Kurri gas peaker plant was always running seeking to run with some hydrogen co-burn. Have we identified a source of green hydrogen and got a contract for it yet?
I mean, obviously my interest is the operation of the power station being able to run on 15% or 30% green hydrogen. And the good news is it's looking more likely that 30% is possible. But no, we haven't sourced green hydrogen or signed a contract at this stage.
Is 30% possible within the funding envelope you've got and being given, or it will be an additional cost and an additional side project?
I mean, to move to 30%, the report isn't complete from Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and we wouldn't do it as part of this current construction, but it would be within Snowy Hydro's operating expense to be able to do that.
So it'd be on top of the, what is it, 965 million?
950 million is the
950
current
million.
envelope.
Okay. So it'd be on top of that.
Like I say, the report's not concluded yet, but the costs are relatively minor to convert the power station to be able to accept green hydrogen. And
Is there a business case done for it yet?
Sorry?
Is there a business case done for it yet?
No.
Okay. Last thing, we put in a request for documents through the Senate on your business plan, and what came through was heavily redacted. A FOI from a member of the public came back with more information than you gave to the Senate. How is that possible?
I mean, I would reference the department's support on this, but there are a lot that documents published, obviously, on our website, and you are able to collect a bit of data.
This was a reset report, I believe, we're talking about, came through.
Yeah, the reset has been documented through press releases and through some of the comments I've made to journalists. The reset case to our board and then the advice to government would have contained more information than that.
That was the thing. But how is it that a member of the public gets a less redacted document than the Parliament of Australia?
Well, they wouldn't have been
They
able
did.
to access the document that was provided to our board and the minister.
Sorry, they
They wouldn't have been able to
no,
access
but
that
they got a
report.
less redacted version than we got. Ours was more redacted under the Senate, request for papers than a member of the public got.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
I'm
go
not
for
familiar with
Yeah,
it.
no,
Yeah.
on that, if you have the details of
I'll
that,
bring it in,
it could
yeah.
be there's a timing issue or something.
I mean,
Maybe
quite
you
possibly.
could take that on notice to
Yeah.
have a look at what the differential is there.
Happily do so.
Okay.